Well, folks, after weeks and weeks and weeks of dysfunction, the Republican Party this week finally picked a new Speaker of the House, and somehow it's the worst possible person they could have picked aside from maybe Marjorie Taylor Greene. The Republicans have picked Republican Representative Mike Johnson from the state of Louisiana to be the new leader for the Republican Party, hell, for the whole House of Representatives in general. Mike Johnson is now the third in line for the presidency, and Mike Johnson is somebody who helped, basically is being described as one of the architects of the Republican attempts to not certify the 2020 Electoral College results. So we now have a man who does not believe in U.S. elections serving as the Speaker of the House, third in line for the presidency, and he doesn't believe in the legitimacy of American elections. And that is just the beginning of how horrible Mike Johnson is. He is also being described, Hakeem Jeffries did a wonderful job of calling him out as being a Christian nationalist and fundamentalist. This is a man who would love nothing more than to put a nationwide abortion ban in place. This is the man who sat next to Donald Trump as a member of his defense team for both of his impeachment trials. This is a man who helped organize a group of 146 Republicans to file an amicus brief in Texas that went to the Supreme Court to throw out thousands and thousands of votes for President Biden. That, of course, is actually separate from his attempts to not certify the Electoral College results on January 6th. And this is the man that is now in charge of the Republican Party. So let me throw out a hypothetical for you here. Let's assume that somehow, some way, Republicans retain control of the House of Representatives after next year's midterm elections. I know it's a long shot, but it's still a thing that could theoretically happen. If they do that, Mike Johnson would most likely still remain the Speaker of the House, which means Mike Johnson would likely be the Speaker of the House on January 6th, 2025, when it comes time to certify the election results of the 2024 election. Well, we've seen what Mike Johnson has clearly done in the past with the last presidential election, and if the 2024 presidential election yields results that Mr. Johnson does not like, what are the chances that he, having full control over the House, attempts to overturn those election results as well? I'd say it's pretty safe to say that that chance would be pretty great at this point. That's a horrifying thought. You know, it's one thing when it's just a couple of yahoos out there. It's not the whole party trying to do this stuff. It's not the leader of the party trying to do this stuff. It's just a bunch of Republican right-wing freaks trying to undermine democracy, and they don't have a majority, right? That's one thing. That's bad enough. But when you actually have the leader of the party that could be the one pushing that in the future, that's when you've got a real issue on your hands. That's when they could have the authority to do that. Just throw out all the votes and do whatever the hell they want. Elect their own president, ignoring completely the will of the American public. That is a situation that is no longer a far off, oh, it'll never happen. That is something that very well could happen in the next, what would that be, 16 months? Yeah, that's what we're looking at here. On top of that, as I mentioned, this is a guy that wants a nationwide abortion ban. He wants to force his Christian views onto the entire American public. This is dangerous. Republicans have made a dangerous decision, and we are the ones who are going to continue paying the price for it. They don't care. They finally got their MAGA speaker. And yeah, MAGA won. After a couple weeks of losses, MAGA finally pulled out a victory, and it should terrify every single person in this country. Ring of Fire has fresh content 7 days a week, so if you want to be reminded about it, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the little bell to be notified every time a new video goes up.